All eyes are on Greece as investors wait for news of a possible debt deal as the country is seeking $11 billion and looks to renegotiate the terms of its bailout program. So is the uncertainty just too much to handle for investors? I'm joined on set by David Nelson, chief strategist at Belpointe Asset Management. And David, let's talk more about Greece. You say that if Greece doesn't exit the Eurozone, the euro could eventually disappear. Why do you say that?
Well, first, I'm coming to you as a U.S. money manager, so I don't have boots on the ground. But I've watched, the euro develop since its inception. First of all, Greece should have never been inside the EU. They came in through kind of the back door. They were hiding a lot of debt, and I think, for the other European members, forcing them out at some point, they're going to have to do this. Whether they address it now or somewhere down the road, you might actually see, some sort of structure where they can kind of postpone a really major decision. This way everybody could save face, because I don't see the current prime minister who just elected, he's certainly not going to back down. The finance minister is now meeting with counterparts right now, so it's kind of like high noon. Everybody's looking for a big decision. I would not be surprised to see that postponed, but eventually, they got to push these guys out, because if they don't, the ramifications for the euro, it will cast their fate in stone, because a capitulation to Greece now would open up a Pandora's box for some of the other weaker economies inside Europe who will want consideration.
Well, let's talk about that. I mean, do you think that the IMF, the ECB, will acquiesce to some of the requests by Greece to renegotiate the terms of that bailout package?
I don't know. The IMF is probably more likely to. I'm not sure where the EU would come out on this, but I can tell you that people in Germany are very upset by this. I can't picture Merkel going along with something like that for any length of time. We actually have some German money managers inside our firm who talk to their counterparts back in Germany, and I think Germany's a very strong economy, and they benefit certainly from the euro. But if the euro disappears, Germany will be just fine. So I can't picture them going along with that.
We talk to market strategists every day who tell us, look, the situation in Greece is just not that big a deal for the markets. Yet you look at the markets and they're constantly following the situation out of Greece. So what's the dynamic here? Why do people care so much?
Sometimes we make a bigger deal out of a lot of things, and we try to trade around every wiggle. And when you try to do that, you generally underperform. Ultimately, it isn't a big deal. It's a relatively small economy. It's certainly a bigger deal for Europe, but look at how their markets are doing. They came screaming out of the gate, certainly doing far better than our markets. They have an economic stimulus package in right now, their own form of QE. Look how our markets did when we first launched back several years ago. When our markets really started to take off, the fundamentals didn't really support it, and it doesn't really support it in Europe as well, but yet their markets are starting to move. I think the Europeans will do just fine with Greece out or in for the time being.
All right, David, we'll leave it there. David Nelson, chief strategist at Belpointe Asset Management. Great to see you. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me, Scott.
I'm Scott Gamm, and you're watching The Street.